What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV. In this video, we're gonna compare the Galaxy Buds 2 versus the Galaxy Buds Pro. Now, at the time of making this video, these earphones are basically the same price. Like on Amazon right this moment, you can get the Galaxy Buds Pro for 150-ish bucks. The Galaxy Buds 2, 180, but you can trade in some and get a little bit off, and eventually they'll probably both be exactly around the same price. So price-wise, they're pretty close. Now, the Galaxy Buds 2 are a newer earbud. They just came out, whereas the Galaxy Buds Pro came out months ago. But with that said, let's go through a bunch of things on which ones are better and which ones are better overall, and then which ones you should actually buy. So let's jump into the video. And then across the board, I tested these both the same. So I used the same size, biggest ear tips on both of these. Both of them through the Galaxy Buds app were set to the normal EQ. I listened to the same exact songs on both of these at the same exact volumes. And I listened to them both on the same exact phone, the Galaxy Z Fold 3. So everything that I did was exactly the same. I didn't venture out in any different directions. This way it would make the test as close to possible as fair. So in terms of look and design, here's the cases on both of them. They're both a little bit shiny. This is more like almost slippery feeling. This is more of a matte feeling. For me, the design of these, the Galaxy Buds Pro case is slightly smaller, but you do get a little bit more battery life with the Galaxy Buds 2 case. With all that said, the way these look, the case itself, everything, they can both wirelessly charge and USB-C on the back. I personally, the way this looks, I would choose the Galaxy Buds Pro. I think it looks better, it's cooler. That's my choice. Here's what the inside looks. Obviously, I have the purple for both of these earbuds, and design-wise, again, I'd have to give it to the Buds Pro. I think they look like a cooler earbud, more fun, more interesting, whereas the Buds 2 are a little bit safer. Obviously, it's a design they've used in the past. So overall design, look, I would definitely give it to the Buds Pro. Here's what the Buds 2 look like in your ears. Very familiar, again, design from the Buds and the Buds Pluses. If you're used to that and you love that, I think you'll absolutely love the fit, feel, and look of the Buds 2. Now here's a look at the Buds Pro. Obviously it's a more modern, newer design looking, and it's different from anything else up there in the past because the Buds 2 really copies off of the Buds and the Buds Pluses. Now, one thing about the Buds Pro is they tend to fall out of my ears, and they fall out of other people's ears as well, which is a big pain in the butt. They don't just like completely fall out. It doesn't happen immediately. It happens as I'm walking, I get a little bit more sweat built up, and they start to just wiggle their way out of my ear. That does not happen to the Buds 2. So that's definitely a one-up for the Buds 2. If you're worried about these falling out of your ears, the Buds 2 should not, for sure, fall out of your ears. I know I'm not the only person where the Buds Pro do fall out of my ears. Other people, they do. Some people, they don't. So it all depends on the person. But with that said, it's kind of hard to pick a winner with the, obviously I like the way the Buds Pro feel, but they do fall out of your ears. So next up, I did a mic recording test. So I used the Samsung recording app. I made sure in the settings that it was recording through the Bluetooth, and I know it did anyway because it showed up once I connected these and I hit record. It said it was recording through the Bluetooth headset. So you can tell which one sounds better just in my preliminary testing. I personally didn't hear much of a difference, but when I listened to it back on my computer, I will put the winner, if any. This recording is through the Galaxy Buds Pro earphones, and I'm using the Samsung recording app, so you get an indication of how these sound versus what we're going to try out with the Galaxy Buds 2 in just a moment. Which one do you think sounds better? This is a recording with the Galaxy Buds 2, so you get an indication of how they sound versus the Galaxy Buds Pro that I recorded just a moment ago. Which one do you think sounds better? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, in terms of controls, both of them work exactly the same. You literally tap the bud itself and it will play pause or bring up your assistant or do things like that. And I do have to say that the Buds 2 definitely have slightly better touch responsiveness when I touch it. They're definitely more, like, they just work better overall. I would say if the Buds Pro work 70% of the time I touch them, I would say the Buds 2 work like 90 to 95% of the time. So I'd give the Buds 2 better controls in terms of responsiveness. In terms of active noise cancellation, both of them are pretty close. I didn't find one to be like overwhelmingly awesome. They're both okay, or pretty good. Neither of them are amazing. But with that said, I think the winner is the Buds 2 in terms of the active noise cancellation. It just seems to deaden more of the outside noise versus the Buds Pro. So if you're looking for better active noise cancellation, slightly, choose the Buds 2. What about ambient sound? Ambient sound, both of them are very good. They allow you to amplify the sound pretty high up. You have controls within that Galaxy app that allow you to do that. And I would choose, for the winner, I would choose the Galaxy Buds Pro. They just have another layer of sound that you can hear around you with that ambient sound, just ever so slightly louder. So I would, and then clarity, they're both the same anyway, but just in terms of getting these to be a little bit louder, I would choose the Galaxy Buds Pro as the ambient sound winner. Battery life with both of these is very close. You're gonna get within an hour or so of these, but ultimately the Buds 2 have slightly more battery, not a ton more. It's not gonna be like days or hours and hours more, but still, if you want something that has very slightly, like maybe an hour more of battery life overall with the case, you're gonna wanna go with the Buds 2. Which one's more bassy? Without a doubt, the Buds 2 are way more bassy. And I wanna say, I do like bassy music, but to a fault, these are more bassy. They have a more muddy sound, but the bass is way more, I feel like anyway, versus the Buds Pro. The Buds Pro have a more balanced, dynamic sound. And for me, I think the sound overall is better with the Buds Pro. If you want, the Buds Pro definitely have, good bass. It's just not as bassy and powerful sounding as the Buds 2, but again, you're gonna get a more dynamic sound, you hear better sound, just hear everything overall in the song or what you're listening to better. And when you get a little bit more muddy with the bass on these, the Buds 2, you obviously could use smaller ear tips, but also that will decrease some of the loudness that you get, and the Buds 2 definitely seemingly sound louder as well. So the Buds 2, louder and more bassy, but also more muddy. And then the Buds Pro, just a more dynamic sound, still pretty loud, still got good bass. And just based off the sound alone, I would have to choose, for me, the Buds Pro. I think they're just a better overall sounding earbud. So with everything I said, they both have pluses and minuses. I think if you end up with the Buds 2, I think that you're going to be like, wow, these are really good sounding. They're awesome, they're bassy, they're loud. They have good ambient sound. They just sound great overall. And I think you'll be generally very happy with them. But once you start comparing them to maybe the Galaxy Buds Pro, for instance, I think you'll be like, oh, I like the way these sound better. These are cooler looking. They have better ambient sound. They have more dynamic sound when I'm listening. So like, again, they both have their pluses and minuses. If these fit in your ears and they don't fall out really ever, get the Galaxy Buds Pro, especially if you can get a good deal on them. Otherwise, I guess I'd say get the Galaxy Buds 2. Both of them are really good earbuds. For me, I would personally probably stick with the Buds Pro, but either one I think you'd be pretty happy with. Thanks for watching. If you want to pick either of these earbuds up, they're linked down below. Thanks for watching. Let me know which ones are your favorite in the comments down below, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.